Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Roma Forum Podcasts. My name is Anthony, and today I'm joined by Luca. There is no Christian this evening. Now,
A little short. It's all right.
a little short. It's all right. It happens. You know who also came up short? Roma. I mean, statistically, not our best performance in a derby or just in a match, of the last 10 matches. But I don't know. What are your thoughts a couple of days from Sunday?
Yeah, I think just, overall, pretty disappointing. Yeah, we walked away with the point. We were lucky to walk away with that point. I think Nazio's president was correct in stating that they dominated. And if it weren't for the heroic efforts of Mile Svilar, it would have been 5-1.
Yeah,
whatever it might have been.
It definitely would have been at least 3-1. They missed two big chances. Svilar had 7 big saves. Definitely man of the match. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Incredible.
And, like the talent, like the idea of like just a total player.
Mm-hmm.
He is that, a leader. You see him communicating with the back line, with the midfielders. Really, really, really just an amazing standout performance. And it's raises the question of like, what are we doing in terms of renewal? Hasn't been renewed yet.
We talked about it the last podcast, but
it's like the guy's asking for what, $4.5 million a season?
Yeah, just give him the.
While we threw almost 7 at Pellegrini in his last renewal.
Speaking of Pellegrini, I mean, having him on the pitch was, everybody always thinks that, we thought maybe this would be his token, match that pulls us back in, that, this will be the match that, lets us look forward to him. But he was awful. And as soon as he came off the pitch, you could see kind of the attack open up. And he was just not present. He had 1 or 2 nice runs. Other than that, maybe one. Just really disappointing.
On the floor all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, and that when we conceded, I mean, he was on the floor before the ball was like in the box.
Mm-hmm.
That's like really pathetic. That's really pathetic. It's not like pathetic. It is pathetic. I think he had 5 duels the whole game, and he won 1. That's 20%. That is horrific.
Yeah.
One of the highest paid players on the team, the captain, in the derby, just an absolutely garbage performance.
And 1 chance created.
Yeah, and I mean, just absolute. There's nothing to save that performance. I don't care. I mean, he could have created 2, and it wouldn't have added to what he did. It was really bad. Now 2 players, 3 players that were, even 4 maybe we can talk about. Celik.
Again.
Unbelievable. The guy is a completely different person. He is reborn, renewed, resurrected, whatever you want to call it. Celik is a totally new person. And that new person is the best version of himself. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I thought he had an amazing game.
No, I agree. And really, all his matches under Ranieri have been really, really stellar performances. I mean, each week I kind of I get a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. And each week he shines, it seems like, and Ranieri has gotten the best out of him. And it's nice to see. It's good to see. And it's created some, it's definitely added some stabilized the defense quite a bit. So
big time. I mean, and we talk about the importance of having Roman players on Roma, the importance of the Italian coach and knowing the league. This is a guy, he's not Roman, he's not even Italian, and he absolutely poured his soul out during that match. I mean,
it seems like he
looking
does
at
it
it now.
week, honestly.
I'm sorry?
I said it seems like he does it every week, honestly. I mean, he's one of these guys that just puts everything, all that he has into each match, and it's great.
It's becoming the rule, not the exception with him.
Yeah.
Like most tackles won, most duels won. That's not on Roma. That's in the match. I mean, he's becoming like an absolute phenom. And I mean, we are so lucky to have him. I mean, really, really lucky. Between Angelino, who didn't have a great derby, I thought. I thought there were a lot of, I don't know, I felt like they really tried to play through Angelino, but they weren't taking advantage of a lot of the opportunities that they could have had by playing through him and choosing to instead play, up the middle or even through the right. But he was okay.
No accurate crosses, which not thrilled about with him.
Yeah, it's not great. But I don't think it's a sign of any sort of regression. I mean, for those of us who are listening, who have been, watching Roma for a while now, we have had horrible wingbacks. No crosses, no creativity, and not even like worthwhile defensive actions. But we seem to have that now with Celik and Angelino, which is absolutely amazing. And playing in front of Celik, Sule, oh my goodness. Like,
I take back anything I ever said negative about him.
He is so special, and it's so exciting to watch him mature and grow under Claudio Ranieri. I mean, Dybala is Dybala. He is the jewel. He is an absolute legend of the league. But I'm going to say this, and I'm being completely honest. I am less nervous about Dybala eventually leave. I mean, he will leave eventually. Hopefully he is able to stay healthy. That's saying a lot, but stay healthy and, one day retire with Roma, or maybe go somewhere else at the end of his career. But I'm not worried. And it's going to get to the point where Sule really should not be someone who's coming off the bench. And
I think we're finally seeing the phenom that we signed in the offseason. I think he's starting to come to life, and it's really making us Romanisti less nervous, like you said, for the post-Dybala era, whenever that may be. And he's such a joy to watch. I mean,
completely,
it's his ability on the ball, his ability
off the ball,
his
vision.
His goal was just crazy. I mean, it's absurd, but I agree. I take back. I said a lot of negative things about him. I probably am quoting myself and saying that's it. I've seen enough. I hope he never plays. I look like a total idiot once again. But you live and you learn.
Yeah, no, I mean, it happens. I mean, we've been, I remember Justin Clivert, like him coming over and like everyone being so excited, and the guy was a complete flop. That we've been burned a lot of times. And so the pessimism is understandable. But the way Sule has been growing in maturity and IQ, and he's becoming more disciplined. It's unbelievable. So him on the right with Celik, and then on the left we have Angelino. Again, didn't have a great game in the derby, but it happens. Honestly, we should expect more from him in such a big game, right? But playing in front of him, Salamakers, right, who's, we don't know anything, but it seems like the media is saying, well, Milan's open to a swap Tammy for Salamakers, which would be absolutely amazing.
I'd take that yesterday.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that even if that wasn't a possibility, Roma definitely should have pursued him in some way. Like you can't let him go. Salamakers is comfortable. He's creative. He's prolific on the ball. He's prolific off the ball. I mean, what a tremendous addition. So wing backs and wingers, it seems like we have a really bright future at Roma.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, the guy has been on, 3 or 4 different clubs now, and he still seems like he gives more every single match than Pellegrini does.
Yeah, 100%.
And that is extremely, extremely disappointing on Pellegrini's fault.
Yeah.
Or on Pellegrini. Yeah, for Pellegrini. Granted, that's not a very glowing, positive review of Salamakers, but still, I mean, the guy, you could tell he genuinely cares and gives 110% on the pitch. And Roma needs players like that.
And it's a mentality thing, and that's Pellegrini's problem. And Salamakers has this fluidity, this not carelessness in a bad way, but he knows where he's supposed to be. He trusts his ability. He trusts his IQ. He trusts Ranieri's instructions, and you can see him just like ebb and flow with the match. And Pellegrini's not that. He is in his own head. He's a basket case. And it is a real, real tragedy that a player with his technical ability should be absolutely tortured by like the collapsing mentality. And
I mean, he shouldn't see he shouldn't see the pitch from a starting perspective for the rest of the season.
No. And like in the summer, we'll see what happens. I'm like praying that we don't lose Svilar, we don't lose Kone, we don't lose Indika. Indika had a great game. We'll see what happens.
A lot of people are pretty doom and gloom about the current Roma, but I really think there is a good foundation of young talent here.
Yeah. 100%.
There are positions where we need to revamp and retool. I would argue striker is one of those.
Central defenders.
Yeah, I think central defense is another one. And I think you retool at wing back. I think winger you're set. I think attacking, mid, I think you're set with Baldanzi.
Baldanzi, Sule, Dybala, the guys who can play in the middle. I mean, we're lacking like Hummels.
Sorry?
Hummels is gone. He's retiring at the end of the summer. And so that leaves us with 2 center backs, and a serious team really can't survive in that capacity. So you have to go after a central defender. You probably need maybe 1 or 2 more wing backs. The striker is a question mark. I mean, Eldor came on Sunday and he looked absolutely juiced.
Yeah.
He throws
every single match he comes in. Like you said, they play the way they should be playing when Eldor comes. I mean, it's just
he looked amazing. Which is great. And people always say like, "Oh my God!" Like we're talking about Eldor starting striker, but he's like a different player. It's not the Eldor we signed. It's not the Eldor that was at Genoa. Like this is a different player completely. So he looked really good. And you need to add another central attacker, in my opinion, next year. I just don't think we can put out a serious product with only 2. And Dogbik is still new, and I don't know.
I think you also need a midfielder who pairs well with Kone. Hopefully, assuming that he stays.
Paredes does, I think, but he's not going to be here in the long term. He's renewed for another year, but who knows if he'll even play next year.
Yeah, correct.
I think that there's a real possibility that that might have just been a favor to Roma to get some money from him because he was a free transfer. So it's all plus Valenza. And, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, so if and when he leaves, you have to go after another midfielder. But I'm not a doomer like a lot of people are. I think we'll be okay. I just hope we don't have Pioli next year. I hope it's Allegri. Now,
I hope it's
the
not
goal conceded was really upsetting from the set piece. And I thought it was even funnier that it's Luca Pellegrini assisting Alessio Romagnoli, two guys who were like self-professed Romanisti, and they've essentially gone renegades because Roma's released both of them, and it just so happened that they find a long-term home in Lazio. So that was kind of funny. It was an ex-Roma player assisting an ex-Roma player scoring against Roma in the Derby. Yeah, I thought that was really, really ironic.
I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd bet on it though.
Yeah, 100%.
Between Pedro,
yeah, it was either going to be Romagnoli, Pellegrini, Pedro, or like some guy who's never scored, or some guy who hasn't scored in 3 years. That's how it is. It's never just an ordinary thing.
As Christian likes to say, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically how it is. I thought the choreography for the Derby was excellent on the part of Roma.
I was going to say on both sides. I thought all around it was cool.
I mean, it looked a little bit like Super Mario in the Curva Nord, but I get what they were trying to do. I just, it blows my mind because they put so much effort into choreography, and then the whole 90 minutes, you just hear Roma fans singing. That's it. The whole time. And they have 2/3 of the stadium.
Yeah.
Roma fans make up 1/3 of the stadium. Lazio has 2/3 of the stadium. And there's nothing. They're quiet. It's almost like there's no passion. But of course there is passion there. It's just, I don't know.
It's almost like they put up the choreography and then they leave the stadium.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah. That's enough. I mean, to be frank, they can't fill half the stadium on a regular match day, so a lot of people come to the stadium because it's the Derby, because they're home. So, it is what it is. I mean, I think that Roma needs to refocus, top four. Probably, I mean, if we're being honest, not to be too pessimistic, top four is becoming an impossibility. You needed to beat one of Juve or Lazio, and you don't beat either, right? Our fate is on our own hands, and we kind of fumbled it, I think. Yeah. I don't like being at the mercy of other teams. I think that puts us in a very bad position. It puts us in a pathetic position. But I don't know. I think the top four chase is more likely than not over. And sort of, what is our goal now? Do we really want to play Europa League or Conference League next year? I don't know. What do you think?
I'm on the fence. I still think you go for Europa League. I think you go as high as you can. And honestly, I felt as though the season was done when we hired Ivan Juric.
That was really bad.
So it's really incredible that we're even talking about top four.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, are we going to be a perpetual Europa League, Conference League team, or do we have the ambition to go higher? And I think one of the things that's frustrating at this point in time, the culture for Roma is without Champions League, we will be a perpetual Conference League, Europa League. And so, because we need the money. If the stadium ever finishes, things could change.
Yeah.
But that's a big if.
It'll happen, I think. eventually, probably by like 2032 or something. But
Yeah, I mean,
um,
Peter's been saying that for the past 40 years, and
yeah, yeah, I know.
whatever.
Um,
But yeah, it's frustrating. I think it's almost impossible for top four now, considering
you're
the
5
rest.
points off, and
Yeah, it's just, and the teams in front of us are
have a little bit of an
look
easier
at their
schedule.
schedules, but you
Yeah,
know, I'm sure it's easier than
yeah,
Roma's.
it is.
So
I mean, we still have to play Fiorentina, Inter.
Yeah.
It's
and frankly, anytime Roma is relying on somebody else for a little bit of luck,
it
probably
never
not.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically over when we get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Overall, I think the Derby we got a point. It always feels good when you steal a point rather than dropping, 2 points. But I wish we won. I think the players really tried their best to win, but the absence of like playing with Pellegrini and Dovbyk, it's like we're playing with 9 players. And that's unfortunate, but the fans were amazing. And I think the team at the end of the match gave them a product that, they could be somewhat proud of.
Yeah. I think also one thing that I will recognize is Claudio Ranieri, when he finishes his career, he will have never lost a derby.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. 6 derbies, never losing one. And of course, just like in Roma style, in the context that we're in the context of the table and everything going on this season, he plays his last derby and it's his first draw. It's just like that's the perfect send-off.
Yeah.
That's the most Roma send-off we could have given him,
especially for this season. Well, I guess in the past 20 years, probably.
Yep.
So
it was perfect. And, so we're going to Verona next week. And pretty nauseating fact is that we have yet to, we haven't beaten them in a year. And like Verona's a team that we should beat every time we play them.
They shouldn't even be sniffing our culos.
Yeah, no, they really shouldn't. So,
they've won one of their last 5.
It's home. It's at the Olimpico. I thought it was away.
Yeah,
no, we should win. this is like ridiculous that we should even really be worried about it. And of course, I'll probably eat my words and they'll win 7-0. But you win this week, you beat Verona, and then you have to go. You go and you play. Let me just. Yeah, you play, and then you have Inter, and it's like, come on, Inter away, Fiorentina home, Atalanta away, Milan home,
and then Torino.
That's probably the most difficult schedule out of any team in the top 10.
Yeah, honestly, we'll be lucky if we finish top 10. with that finish. That's rough. So it is a must win. It's about the closest you're going to get to a sure win. Now, nothing is ever sure in the league. Yeah. But the rest of the matches are really, really difficult matches.
Yeah. And then we close with Torino.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens. It's all up in the air. I think that Roma has a lot of soul searching to do this summer in terms of what's our priority, what are we looking for, and obviously we'll have a new manager. So hopefully it's not a summer where we are linked with a manager June, July, and then all of a sudden in August we're rushing to throw together a mercato based on the the fleeting wishes of whoever the new manager is, and we put forward another disaster. So
yeah, I don't think that'll be the case. I mean, I think they're going to announce a manager relatively soon. Now, as we stated at the start of this podcast, I am not an insider. I don't have any knowledge. I don't have any contacts. I just think, based on the way the Friedkins have run their operation, that they are not going to wait and announce a manager. They want to announce the manager, I think, as soon as possible. That way they can get started planning the Mercato and figuring out the summer and making sure, hopefully, it'll be more successful year next year. And so that the whole summer it's under this new manager. I mean, we saw that with when they came aboard and you know, the exit of Paulo Fonseca and here comes, you know, Jose Mourinho.
I mean, that was like unbelievable.
Nobody, and everybody thought that it would be Sarri, and then
it is. Yeah, it was really an amazing. I remember that him at the airport holding the scarf, and oh my goodness, it was one of those things where like I'd forgotten everything up until that point. Like Mourinho blinds you. He's like, thank God he's not a dictator somewhere.
Well, some people think he is.
Yeah.
And a different right. But
anyway.
I think they need to hire a manager that has that type of aura.
It's Allegri, 100%.
And I think that's the hire you go with. But who do we end up with? Montella. There he is.
No,
I can see that. I can see it already. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping for Allegri. I am, or I'm hoping for a big name.
Yeah, but as you like Ancelotti, which is just
like Ancelotti.
This is like the craziest idea you've ever had. And
I mean, it's
a Prius, so
I do like him. I think he's a phenomenal coach. I think he made, what do they call mountains out of anthills or whatever this thing is.
Yeah, mountains out of molehills. Yeah.
Well, tomato.
Yeah.
At Everton, because that's just not a good squad. I mean, they're fighting for relegation every year almost, it seems like, although this year they're doing a little better. But still, I think, but to your point, and I will validate your point, this current climate, Roma's in the past, 15 years or however long it's been, is not the climate for Ancelotti.
No,
it's just not.
Not at all.
Will there ever be a climate for Ancelotti to come? Probably not. And you know what? He probably realizes that, and that's probably why he'll never, be the manager at Roma.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I hope I eat my words. I hope I'm totally wrong, but I'm just being realistic.
Yeah, I mean, you just go back 10 years. There was no opportunity for him. We had Garcia and had a couple of okay years, and I think it was 14, 15, and then 15, 16, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and they were like, whatever. And then Spalletti came, and Spalletti was like a whirlwind. I mean, we were at almost like 2.5 points per game. So, he's not coming there. And then we had EDF, and we had those amazing Champions League memories and moments that we will savor forever. And one of the biggest scandals in football history, the Champions League semifinal against Liverpool, which is just like one of the most flagrant and just repulsive examples of corruption in the sport I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not old, but Ranieri, and then we went new. Let's try Fonseca, and Fonseca was okay. Like I thought he had he had the aura of like a really great manager. He screamed and got in the face of all. Remember the referees getting the red cards, screaming in his face, fighting for his team. I adore him.
he's suspended 9 months now because he's whatever.
I mean, that's him. That's the
yeah, exactly. And he had an exciting brand of football. But
100%. Was it conducive to winning? No. I mean, we went to the Europa League. What was it? Was it the semifinal against
we were up 2-1, weren't we?
Yeah, and then we gave up 6 goals. Yeah.
And we decided to go all out attack and, straight FIFA mode, go, all out attack instead of going park the bus.
Yeah.
And we got annihilated.
Yeah, but that was Fonseca. He was not a park the bus guy. And then we went with Mourinho, right? Totally different worldview. So, the conditions in the last 10 years, at least, were never there for Ancelotti. I mean, maybe you could say, like, instead of Garcia, you go with him there, but I'm pretty sure he was like on managing Bayern at that point, or I don't remember, but.
And he's not turning down Real Madrid or PSG to come here. I mean, it's just.
I mean, the guy's like Brazilian anyway, basically at this point.
Yeah.
So.
He might claim to love Roma, but he's not dumb.
No, I mean, he played for Roma for 8 years. I mean, that's a long time. He has 172 caps with Roma. That's half of his career. Like, I think he had 5 years at Milan, 3 at Parma. So that's 8 total, plus 8 with Roma. So, it is what it is. I'm over it. I'm not interested. You got to learn when to move on. I'm hoping for Allegri, but okay. Well, I think that's a lot covered. It seems like these manager conversations will happen like either every week or almost every other week until we know who it is. It's such an intense topic, and it really will.
I was reading a rumor on the old X that they might announce him at this open practice in a couple days, but
I don't know.
Who knows? I can't wait for the Italian media to say, "Oh, there was a leak, and the Freakins decided not to announce it, and that's why they didn't announce it."
People will say anything.
We'll find out when we find out.
Yeah, we will.
We'll either be excited or we won't be.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think that was good. I think we covered a lot. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Don't forget to follow us on whichever platform you're listening on: Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube. We are on X, and we are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. So don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels.
We'll also check out our website, too. I mean, it has all the videos and everything on there, too. So
articles as well. Yep. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for listening. It was a lot of fun being with you this evening, and we'll catch you next time. Ciao.